The robot has powered to Earth to learn all about our animals. Let's join Zeek on his adventure. Today, we're meeting animals that are rare and extinct. We'll bump into a bison and zoom with some zebras. It's all systems go as we venture into Zeek's animal world. Hello there! We're sniffing out some rare and extinct animals today, and first on Zeek's list is the tapir. Tapirs look something like pigs with trunks, don't they, Zeek? But they're actually related to horses and rhinoceroses. Look at that long nose. Tapirs certainly love water. They're excellent swimmers and can even dive to feed on aquatic plants. Oh, look, Zeek, here's a tapir mother with her newborn baby. The baby tapir is born with stripes to help camouflage it in the wild. The stripes help the baby tapir blend in with its surroundings so predators can't see it. Just think, that little one will have a short, stumpy trunk just like Mum when he grows up. This tapir is enjoying a swim. Tapirs are at home in the water and often submerged to cool off. These unusual animals are becoming rare, Zeek. There are 4 tapir species and all are endangered or threatened, largely due to hunting and habitat loss. Just look at the way the tapir can move its trunk. They use their trunks to grab branches and clean them of leaves, or to help pluck tasty fruit. This little one is getting used to the water. For a tapir, any time is a good time for a bath. And Mum is never far away, just in case her baby gets into trouble. Tapirs also like to wallow in mud, perhaps to remove pesky ticks from their thick hides. Tapirs are mammals, and just like a pig, they have hoofed toes. Tapirs eat a diet of lush leaves and juicy fruit, so that makes them herbivores. Yes, you're right, Zeek. The baby tapir is very cute. Can you sniff and wiggle your nose like a tapir? Tapirs live in forests, grassland and swamps, and can be found in Central and South America and Malaysia and Sumatra. The woolly tapir lives high in the Andes Mountains. They are the smallest tapirs and have a warm and protective coat. Just look at this little face. This baby tapir is cooling off and sniffing around to see what's for lunch. In all tapir species, young tapirs have a reddish-brown coat with yellow and white stripes and spots. At 5 to 8 months of age, they lose this colourful coat and start to look more like an adult. Remember, the stripes are also there to camouflage the babies or to help them hide in the forest. Tapir numbers are dwindling because of hunting as well as habitat loss. Their forest homes are cleared for farming and cattle grazing. The tapir is now an endangered animal, which means that they're quite rare and there aren't many left on the planet. Yes, Zeek, it is sad. A lot of animals are becoming rare or extinct. If an animal is extinct, it means there aren't any left at all. Let's hope that never happens to the wonderful tapir. Let's take a look back at what we've learned about this rare and unusual animal. Tapirs have short trunks they use to grab leaves and fruit. Baby tapirs are born with stripes to camouflage them in the forest. Tapirs have hoofed toes and they love the water. Well done, team. Come on, let's follow Zeek. We've got some more animals to meet. Hi, Zeek. Take a look at our next rare animal. This gentle creature is called a deer. Deers are mammals, and they love to eat leaves and grasses. Deer are one of the most easily recognized wild animals and are found in many countries around the world. You might have even seen a deer in the wild. Not long ago, deer were hunted so much they were almost extinct in many parts of the United States. Today, thanks to years of effort to restore populations, white-tailed, black-tailed and mule deer are thriving. This beautiful deer is the poodoo. They are the smallest deer with a shoulder height of just 30 centimeters. That's as big as a ruler. The poodoo is a vulnerable species of deer. That means that their numbers have dropped because their rainforest habitat or home is being destroyed and cleared for cattle ranching and other human developments. It's even rare to see a baby poodoo at the zoo, but zookeepers are trying to make sure more and more are born. All deers are mammals, just like this lovely Alds deer and her fawn. A mammal is an animal that feeds its babies milk. This little Alds deer will grow into a long-legged, long-bodied, medium-sized deer with a pair of large antlers and large hooves. And here's a pair of antlers now. A male Alds deer's antlers can grow to be 1 meter long. That's around the length of a necktie. We don't know how many Alds deer are left in the world, but we do know that they are very rare. There aren't even many of these wonderful creatures in zoos. You might get wet when we meet our next rare deer, Zeek. This is the milu. The milu deer has been extinct in its natural habitat for more than 200 years. Luckily, zoos and wildlife parks around the world have kept this strange and beautiful animal alive through breeding programs. So, we've learnt that deer are mammals and feed their babies milk. Deer feed on leaves and grasses, have hooves, and grow antlers. Dear me, that was a lot of information, Zeek. Be careful, Zeek. Our next rare animal looks like it could have a very nasty bite. They have large, yellow, glaring eyes with sideways eyelids. It might look like a crocodile, but it's actually a caiman. Caiman love the water and can be found hiding in marshes. Their scaly skin camouflages their body and makes it easy to hide in muddy waters. I wouldn't go too close, Zeek. Caiman have very sharp teeth. They need them to eat their meals. You see, caiman are carnivores, and that means they eat meat. Caiman are reptiles and make nests to lay their eggs. What else have we learnt about this rare and endangered animal, Zeek? Caiman love the water and they have scaly skin. They build nests to lay their eggs and they're carnivores, which means they eat other animals. Come on, there's more animals to meet, so let's make it snappy. Zeek, one of the most rare sights in nature is an albino animal, like this amazing wallaby. An animal with albinism, or an albino, has no pigmentation or color in its fur, skin, or its eyes. Look, Zeek, this albino wallaby is drinking from its mum. You can see the color of her fur and how pale her albino baby is. Animals with albinism often have poor eyesight, and because they are so white, they can't hide themselves from their predators or prey. The survival rate of animals with albinism in the wild is usually quite low. Albinism occurs in mammals, like this little wallaby, but also in birds, reptiles, and even fish. Zeek, this may look like a normal bird to you until you discover that it's actually a crow. Crows are known for their glossy jet black feathers, but this crow is an albino. Even his feet are a pale shade of pink. Albino animals don't like the bright light from the sun and like to shade themselves in the warmer weather. What sort of albino animal do you think we'll find hiding under this straw, Zeek? It's an albino python. This reptile normally has brightly colored scales with distinct diamond patterns, but because this snake has albinism, its skin is pale and pinkish. This snake would easily be spotted in the wild by birds of prey, so luckily it's kept safe at this reptile park. So what have we learnt about rare albino animals, Zeek? We know that albinism occurs in mammals like wallabies, in birds like crows, and reptiles like pythons. Even a fish can be an albino. Zeek, this large animal is called the bison, and many years ago it was brought to near extinction because of hunting. In the early 1800s, the bison population numbered in the tens of millions. By the end of that century, there were fewer than 1,000 left. But many people now farm bison, and today there are about 150,000 in North America. They're no longer endangered. Bison are plant eaters and graze mostly on grasses. They prefer to move, commonly traveling 6 miles a day, grazing as they go. The bison's most distinguishing feature is its hump, a bony ridge that runs right down its back. A male bison is called a bull, a female is a cow, and a baby bison is a calf. Both bulls and cows have sharp horns. Bison like to travel together in groups called herds, and although they look like they're quite slow and lazy, bison can move very fast. They can run faster than 55 kilometers per hour and can turn very quickly. This big bison bull looks like he's ready for a fight. Bison are members of the cattle family, and just like cows, bison have cloven hooves and chew cud. Zeek, here's a herd of bison grazing on some lush green grass. Watch out for those horns. Bison are the largest wild land mammals in North America. Bulls can stand up to 6 feet tall at the shoulders. That's as high as a very tall man. Most bison live to be around 20 years old, but some live as long as 40 years. The bison was hunted for its thick hide. It was used to make footwear, clothing, and even shelter. This little guy is about to get a playful shove from Dad, Zeek. Buffaloes have excellent hearing and eyesight. This helps them to always be on the lookout for predators. So, let's take a look back at what we've learnt about the bison. We know bison are grazers who like to eat grass and travel in groups called herds. bison have large humps on their backs, and both the bull and the cow have horns. Well done, team. Let's get a move on. There's more to discover. We won't have any trouble keeping up with our next rare animal, Zeek. This is the tortoise, and it's one animal that's in no hurry to get where it's going. The tortoise is a shy, land-dwelling reptile. He eats plants like low-growing shrubs, grasses, and even cactus, so that makes him a herbivore. The tortoise's feet are round and stumpy for walking on land. Tortoises live in hot, dry habitats and use their strong legs to dig burrows. Then, when it's too hot in the sun, they slip underground. Tortoises have hard, protective shells that are made up of bones. Like your bones, a tortoise's shell is part of its skeleton. The tortoise can't crawl out of it because the shell is permanently attached. Many species of tortoise are now endangered, so these lovely shy animals are becoming rare. Let's look at what we've discovered about the tortoise. We know the tortoise is a reptile with a hard protective shell. Tortoises are shy animals and they eat plants, so they're herbivores. There's no mistaking our next rare animal, Zeek. Do you know what it is? That's right, it's a zebra, and it's famous for its black and white stripes. Zebras are members of the horse family. They have excellent hearing and eyesight and can run at speeds of up to 56 kilometers per hour. That's as fast as many cars go in city streets. Zebras also have a powerful kick that can cause serious injury to a predator, like a lion, a hyena, or an African wild dog. Can you see the zebra's mane, Zeek? The mane is the hair that runs from the zebra's head right down its neck. This hair is very thick and bristly and stands up. A group of zebras is called a herd. Usually the lead male of the herd, called a stallion, stays at the back of the group to defend against predators, while the females, called mares, and the youngsters, called foals, run from danger. Zebras take dust or mud baths to get clean. They shake the dirt off to get rid of loose hair and flaky skin. What's left protects them from sun, wind, and insects. Zebra foals are dark brown and white at birth. They can walk just 20 minutes after they're born and run after an hour. Zebras are mammals, so they feed their foals milk. Zebras are herbivores, Zeek. Do you know what that means? That's right, they feed mostly by grazing on grasses, although they also might browse a bit on the leaves and stems of bushes. Watch out, Zeek, this might be a stampede. Most zebras live in grasslands and savannas, and it's sad to think that the zebra is now an endangered animal. Zeek, did you know that each zebra has its own unique stripe pattern? It's just like human fingerprints. No two zebras have the same stripes. We've learnt that zebras are famous for their black and white stripes and live in groups called herds. Zebras have bristly manes and they're herbivores that eat grass. Well done, team. Good work investigating the zebra. Watch out, Zeek. Looks like we could be in for some monkey business. This funny-looking fellow is a bonobo ape, and he's another rare creature that's on the endangered species list. Bonobo apes can walk upright, and they do so about a quarter of the time. These are very social animals and develop strong bonds with their babies and other members of their troop. Just like humans, each bonobo ape has its own individual face with its own features. No two faces are exactly the same. Playing and keeping active is a part of growing up. The young bonobos play some of the same games you might play, like Blind Man's Bluff, where young bonobos cover their eyes with their hands and run around chasing each other. Sadly, there are few bonobos left in the wild, and so they are considered the most endangered of the great apes. Some scientists believe that bonobos are the smartest of the primates, other than humans, of course. Maybe that's because bonobos are thought to be our closest living relatives. They share many of our human behaviors, like teaching their youngsters social skills, using tools to get food, and working together for the good of the entire troop. Oh, Zeke's pointing out this baby bonobo. He's snuggled in against his mother's chest. Okay, so we know that bonobo apes spend some time walking upright, and they all have different faces. Bonobo apes are social animals, and they're very active. The last rare animal we'll look at is called the Oryx, Zeek. Just look at those extra long horns. The Oryx is a graceful white antelope with black markings on the face and legs. The Oryx has long legs with broad, splayed hooves for running on sand. Both the male and the female Oryx have long, straight horns. The Oryx is keen-sighted, wary and alert, and defends itself by lowering its head so the horns point forward. The last wild Oryx was exterminated more than 30 years ago. Hunting was the main reason for its loss, and the animal would be extinct today if zoos didn't help to breed some more. The Oryx eats grasses, herbs and fruits, and can go for a long time without needing a drink of water. Let's look back at the rare Oryx, Zeek. The Oryx has extra long horns that grow straight up and hooves to help it walk in the sand. The Oryx eats grass and can go for a long time without water. I hope you liked meeting our rare and extinct animals. We'll see you next time.